What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Matt Pete Marketing Podcast. And I'm super excited to have my next guest on. Okay, so she started her business 3 years ago after she was told she was too ambitious for a promotion at her 9-to-5 in retail banking. She was able to leave that job, and 6 months later, now she helps entrepreneurs become ultra confident promoting their business on social media. She has helped over 24 entrepreneurs create a sustainable income for their business just using social media for free, no ads. Now, social media is an incredible lead generation tool for all businesses when your business is presented properly. Welcome, Gina Talarico.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. And I like everybody watching the video on YouTube and on the website, that kind of stuff. They can see your smiling face there. I love it when people come on and they're smiling. That makes it so much easier for me.
Yeah, totally. No, for sure.
All right. So what is your marketing passion?
So my marketing passion is 100% social media, of course. I mean, from the bio, that's definitely where I put my focus. And I believe that social media, when used as a free advertising platform, like every single business, it does not matter what you do, needs to be leveraging social media. Ads do come into play, I feel, with scaling, but you can have an evergreen funnel of people coming into your business just by promoting yourself properly online. You can reach hundreds of thousands to millions of people a day from your couch, and you're not utilizing that. So that's 100% where that passion comes from, and that your message can go a lot further than you think it can.
I love that we're talking about this today because I love social media and the idea of using it organically for business. But me personally, I have not had a ton of success with social media. I don't know why. I don't know if it's consistency, if it's content, if it's relatability, what it is. I'm not sure. So I'm super excited because right now, as we're recording this episode, I think I only have like 60 or 70 likes on Facebook. Started a Facebook group just so I could communicate, interact with people better. And I have an Instagram account, which has been like my personal Instagram account forever. It's only got like 500 or 600 followers on it. So super small comparatively. So I'm super interested to figure out about social media. Just really quick, what are like 2 or 3 like top tips that you would say to a client who's asking about how to get more engagement and grow their social media following?
Okay, so it depends on per platform. So every platform is different. But I am a really big fan of working in your business and like where your focus needs to go. So you can be on every single social media platform with one social media strategy. It's just about how efficiently you're able to recycle the information that's already in your head. So honestly, the algorithms need to come last. Your follower account needs to come last. All of those things don't matter if you're providing value in the correct way that the platform wants to receive it.
Okay.
If that
So,
makes
yeah, that makes total
not really
sense.
like top tips, but it depends on what your business is versus where you're going to be really successful online, and then creating a strategy around that one platform and then recycling it around the rest. Because you want to be able to be found everywhere. But it depends. It's definitely per business and per consumer as well. Because like I love Instagram, but I was a consumer on Instagram first. So that's where my business took off because I knew the platform in and out from like using it for personal use, right? That could be Facebook for some people. That could be Pinterest for some other people, right? So it depends on, for one, comfortability, because you're diving in and it becomes very discouraging. So if you already know about the platform, it becomes easier. And 2, what your business is and where the people that you want to find, like where are they hanging out? You have to ask those questions, right?
Yeah. Okay. So going where your target audience is for one, and what platforms you're already using because you know how to use them. Basically.
You already know how to use them, and that's going to make your life so much easier. You can have this, it's the same strategy. I can guarantee you there's little things here and there for each platform that are customizable or that are like specific per platform, but they're all like, you can use the same strategy for promotion across every single social media platform.
Okay,
We overcomplicate it as human beings. We overcomplicate everything as human beings, but we overcomplicate it. And that's not where you should be spending your business. Like your brain power needs to be on servicing your clients and what earns you money, not on what am I going to post on Instagram today.
Yes. So, and like your bio said, using it as a lead generation tool, you know, to reach your target audience. So for me, like I've got a bunch of podcast episodes that I could repurpose and use on social media. I haven't been doing it just because I have a lot of clients that I'm working for, and I've been really bad about it. It's something I definitely need to improve on. But should I, as a solopreneur,
Mhm.
try to repurpose for all platforms, or should I try to find like where my target audience is? Because I know you said you want to be, obviously you want to be found on all platforms. The Gary V's and the Russell Brunsons,
Yeah.
they're on every platform because they have
Yeah.
huge teams of people. Should
Yes.
I try to be on every platform in some way, or should I pick 2 or 3 platforms that I know how to use and know my target audience is there and just
Mhm.
nail down on those?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on how ambitious you are and how dedicated you are, because you could start today and be on every single platform if you want to. It's going to be a steeper learning curve, but it's going to pay
Mhm.
off sooner. So it depends on
Okay.
how easily you get overwhelmed, how easily
Mm.
you think that you're going to be able to have time to repurpose that content, because you are repurposing from one larger piece of content. Podcasts, YouTube videos are huge because there's so much information in
Mhm.
one that you can spread that out, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
powerful. So finding a larger piece of content and then repurposing from there, you have that on your side. At the same time, you have to have graphics, you have to have hashtags, you have to have, there's a lot of little parts of the puzzle that need to come together. So it depends on, so when I'm consulting with my clients, it definitely depends on personality, it depends on time, but most of them will pick one or two, and then it's easier to scale up than trying for them all, and then like you're easily discouraged and then you're not going to do anything, right?
Yeah.
Where Facebook and Instagram, I treat those pretty much as one. You can recycle, like copy paste, recycle content between the two of those because they're so similar. But
Yeah.
then it comes, there's Pinterest and blah, blah, blah. Now we have TikTok and Reels. There's another place that they're exactly the same. You can just repurpose that content, like copy, paste, repurpose that content. So
Yeah.
it's tying all of those loose ends together and knowing which types of content can be easily produced. And so that's where my job comes in, where I can come and make that simplified for you. So to answer your question, depends on how much, of course, free time you have. By the sounds of it, you're really involved with your clients. So I would pick two. But for
Okay.
podcasting, I would probably pick, you want Facebook and or Instagram, so both of those, and then a different one. So obviously wherever your podcast is hosted, that's a freebie. That's the one that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have to have it. If YouTube is your, like, that could be your next choice. You can get so much organic reach through Pinterest as well. So
I've
Pinterest or
heard that
YouTube.
so much, but I don't use Pinterest. And like, to back to your original point,
Yeah,
is a
you're like,
huge learning curve for me. Yeah, exactly. Like I use TikTok. So
yeah,
I've been seriously, like, I have a TikTok account created. I have a couple of videos, like, not related to marketing stuff yet, but
yeah,
I've been wanting to create videos. And like you said, I have so much content coming out through these podcast episodes. I could take the lessons I'm learning there, implement them in my own business, and then do TikToks based on how well it did, that kind of thing, like have my own spin on it.
that's
It
exactly it. It's
so,
exactly it.
yeah, and like you said, it kind of depends on how ambitious I am.
Because
So
it's a lot
I'm
of work. It's a
oh,
lot of work. Like, don't get me
it
wrong. Like,
is.
I'm not saying that this is easy, but when you have a strategy where it's like, okay, today I need to do 2 Pinterest posts. Okay, so what do I need to do for that? Well, I'm going to link them to my YouTube videos. So you've got your link. I got to go whip into Canva, make 2 graphics and post them. Done. And it's going to be that constant, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a cumulative effort from all of those things daily. There's a word I'm looking, consistency. That's the word I
Yeah.
was looking for. So of doing all of those little things. And then you're like, okay, so like, then, you have a podcast go live weekly or monthly or whatever it is. So that's something that you're already doing. So
Yes.
that's fine. So then building on top of that by driving traffic from
Yeah.
other sources to that one thing that you're already doing consistently.
And that's that next step I need to take, because like you said,
Yeah.
I'm posting the podcast every week, every Wednesday at 3:30 a.m. an episode comes out. It's just about, okay, I have that consistency down. I need to add another consistency metric in there for promoting, because
Absolutely.
and I'm in the process right now with some of my clients of trying to get back some of my time, because I have a couple clients and they pay well, but they also each of them demand 90% of my time. So 180% of my time is going to those 2 clients. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to reclaim some of that time so I can work in my own business instead of just for them.
absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
and you don't
Cause
want to take a pay cut, and that's okay. There's other ways to do it, right?
yeah,
And so, yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So
totally.
I'm looking to outsource some stuff.
Yeah.
because I edit the podcast episodes on my own. So if I outsource the editing and like the social media posts that we talked about, repurposing for Facebook, like little small clips and stuff like that, that would be a huge weight off my shoulders. So that's something I'll
Absolutely.
have to look into. But I love that. I love that. So all of that in the intro of this episode, but I want to go ahead and move on to a part that I love. And everybody watches and listens, they know what this is, the pod deck question. So random deck of non-industry specific questions. I draw a random. If anybody out there has a podcast or any kind of platform, live stream, Facebook's, whatever, I love these for that. And if you use code TheMattPete, all caps, all one word, you get 10% off at checkout. So, all right, here we go. Let's see what we got. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Ooh, that is a good one.
That is one of the better ones I've drawn. I will say that.
Okay, but what if okay, there's two. Can I say two? Okay, or do I
Go
have to
for
pick
it.
one?
Go
Okay,
for it.
the first one's shorter. So it wasn't really advice, but it's something that woke me up. Was somebody looked at me and they said, "Who are you living for?"
Mm.
So I'm definitely very empathetic, and everyone comes before me. Like that came from being a service provider. I am always, everybody else's needs are coming before mine. And so I used to burn out a lot. I burned out way too easy. I was always pouring from an empty cup until someone just looked at me and they were like, who are you living for? And then no became my next favorite word. At the same time, it's a hard thing to do because I'm still like that. I love being generous. And if I have the ability to help someone, I would love to do that. But I need to make sure that where my priorities lie, I'm filling my cup first. So is it, okay, yes, I can help you with that, but it's got to be in a week. It's not like I'm dropping everything right now. And then, I haven't got my own laundry done in 4 weeks because I'm so busy helping everybody else.
Yep. I love that. I've started to do that here recently too. It's a freeing feeling whenever you're like, because I'm the same way. I'm a people pleaser to my core.
Yeah.
Like I love helping people. And if I let somebody down, I feel horrible. But like recently, like I've been like, hey, my wife's birthday is tomorrow from this recording. Like I was telling my clients, hey, I'm not available this Thursday and Friday. Completely don't message me because she doesn't know it yet. It's a surprise. Because we just moved to Orlando and she loves SeaWorld. We haven't been yet. So I bought her tickets to SeaWorld. So we're going to go spend all day at SeaWorld. And then we're going to California Grill over at Disney and eat on the rooftop grill. It's going to be an awesome day. But
well, happy birthday when she
hey, I will.
Let her know. That's amazing. That's so incredible. And it's, message me, but I'm not going to message you back. And setting those boundaries is another really big one. Like, I'm not saying that I'm going to be going forever. Like I'm going to take 2 days off. You get that at a 9 to 5. So you're allowed to do it, right?
I had a client today on a call ask me, he's like, what's, this thing you need over the next 48 hours? And I was like, or he's like, what's the most important task for you for us over the next 48 hours? I was like, honestly, my wife's birthday. So don't message me.
like I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, I can come up with an important task, but it's not going to get done because I'm not going to be here for the next 48 hours.
This is my important task is my personal life right now.
Yep. And it's like you said, it's been so freeing, and I don't burn out as much when I'm able to just be like, no, I'm not doing that. This is
and
what I can
you
do.
Don't have to say no, never. I just like right now I don't have capacity. And in a week, I'd love to come and help you weed your entire garden, or I'd love to come and help you do whatever, right? But right now, X, Y, Z, you don't even really need to be giving reasons. That's something that I need to work on, right? Is, oh no, but like I have this and this going on right now. It's a no, I can help you next week. Stop talking. That's all they need to know. So long-winded, that was my first one. My second one, it'll be quicker as well. It's not necessarily like a piece of advice that somebody gave me, but it's something that I had to learn the hard way. And so this is something that I tell a lot of people is be careful who has influence in your life. Because especially as an online entrepreneur, or especially when you're doing anything that involves kind of like beating your own path, or this could be honestly like maybe going for a promotion or not, you have to really audit who has your best intentions in mind. Because everyone is going to give you their opinion, but who you take seriously is up to you. So you have to think about where their intentions are coming from before you actually listen to them. And it probably put me back quite a while in my business because I was believing people who did not have my best intentions in mind. So I help, well, and then of course that's my own fault as well. I have to take a bit of the responsibility, but at the same time, you have to take ownership for who are you living for and who are you listening to? Because that will completely change your attitude and the way that you move forward and how quickly you move forward in your life.
I love that. I love it. And paying attention who has your attention, like
Yeah.
if the people who you're getting your advice from are the people who are paying you to do work for them, most of the time they're going to want you to do more work for them. They don't have your best interest at heart. They have their own income at heart, which, is fine from a business aspect. I get it. But, I have a coach that I work with, and whenever he tells me something, I listen to it because he's the kind of coach who he's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm going to tell you straight. Are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah. So like he really like steps on
Mhm.
my toes a lot,
Mhm.
which nobody else really does, which is why I like having a coach
Yeah.
because they're willing to do that kind of thing. He has my attention because he
Yes.
has my best interest at heart. He wants me to succeed
Yeah.
and do well
Yeah.
in my personal and professional life. Because if I don't, then I'm not going to hire him anymore. Like he has an obligation to be a great coach.
Mhm.
My clients only want me to produce for them. So,
Yeah. No, 100%. And you know what? And it could be in your personal life. It could be family members. Like
oh,
I
so
had
true.
one of my best friend's dads was like, "Oh, you're leaving banking?" And I was like, "Oh," like, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, am I gonna leave banking?" And I was like, "Okay, wait." And then I had to sit back and go, it's coming. This is from a place of love. He doesn't want to see me fail, but it's coming across where like I'm taking it really literally and really like, and then so I go to my dad for everything. My dad is my number one. He is the only person that I will go to with any sort of business idea forever, even if I think it's trash or if I don't. And I will take him 110% seriously, like over all else. So then taking it to him, and he was like, quit. No, like you could do this. You're young. You got, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, and so then of course you're being pulled in two ways because I respect them both
Hmm.
so much that it's like, okay, who are you living for and who are you listening to? Okay, no, I was like, no, I think if I'm going to take this risk right now, not married, don't have kids, barely have any bills, why am I not doing this right now? Guess what I can always go and do? Like, hey, bank, can I have a job? Yeah, sick. Go back. Like, there's always something else that you can do. You can always go back to doing anything that you wanted to do before. The biggest thing that you regret not trying. And so then it got to that point for me, but that's where I was like really clear about like, okay, who am I listening to? Who has influence? Who am I living for? I can't have other people's fears projected onto me as well. Even though it
Yeah.
came out of a place of love. It didn't even come out of like a
Oh,
place of,
absolutely.
right? It was totally out of a place of love, but that's how tricky it can get because I sat there and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? For like a split moment. I totally second guessed everything that I've ever thought because it came from somebody who I respected
That
at the same
same
time, right?
exact
Yeah.
thing happened to me.
Oh,
I,
so
I was
cool.
doing wedding videography and I got to a point where I was making really good money shooting weddings. Like my starting package price for weddings was $3,600.
Mhm.
And I can shoot a wedding in a day and edit it in a day. So 2 days of work, $3,600. And same way, I went to my dad because my dad has a small business, and I was like, I'm really burnt out on weddings. I'm going to quit. I'm going to do marketing because I know how to do video, and I've done some for clients, and I had my toe in the water in marketing. I was like, I'm going to switch. And he's like, oh man, weddings just pays so well though. You've done so well in weddings and everything. And it's just like, I actually ended up going back and booking more weddings because I was like, well, he's got more experience. Maybe he's right. And like, I took those weddings and oh my gosh, the amount of stress that comes along with it. It's just like you said, I got burnt out
Mhm.
living from what somebody else said. And yeah, obviously my dad doesn't want me to fail and doesn't want me to be
Mhm.
stressed. He said it
Mhm.
completely from a place of love, but
Mhm.
I got to live for myself. And so I have one wedding left that I booked months ago for this coming October, and it's my last wedding. So I'm super excited.
And you know what? And then you're gonna go into that moment and you're gonna be like totally bittersweet. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
I get doing this,
absolutely.
right? And
Yep.
but just such an incredible part of your journey. You can always go back to it. Look at the
Yep.
portfolio you've been able to build. You're just gonna do something like you don't like I don't want to live the same day twice.
Mhm.
If I have feel called to run in a certain direction, my bills are paid and the people around me are loved, I'm
Yep.
running in that direction. Like I will, it doesn't matter. I've just started dipping my toes more into doing this, more like live events, teaching events, lots of podcast interviews, something that like I clearly love to talk. But it's fine. And
I
before
love
I
it.
start my own, like, and it's lit me up. I was like, okay, so if I'm coaching one-on-one, I am like on a high for like 4 hours after. I love it. I love pouring my passion into other people's passions. And then I found that doing speaking events like this, same thing. Like I've done 3 today, and like I'm like,
That's awesome.
like it's just, and like my energy is like it's not gonna go. It's gonna be here all day. And I'm like, okay, but like, why am I not pursuing more of this? Because look at how, like, look at what it makes me do. Look at how it makes me feel. Like it's so
Yeah.
simple in the grand scheme of things, where it's, yeah, of course I love coaching one-on-one as well, or in group programs or whichever, but this is something else that I should definitely be doing more of, because even if it doesn't make me an income, because look at how happy it makes me.
Oh yeah. And in one sense, it's not making you an income, but in the repurposing content we talked about in social media, like you're having conversations, you're going to have aha moments, you're going to have realizations of things that you know that I don't know. And
Yeah.
you're like, I need to turn that into content. I need to do that. You said you don't have your own podcast yet?
No, I've thought
Uh,
about it.
are you going to start one? Is that like something on your list? I
It's
feel
like a
like you're so good at it.
2022. Thank you. Yeah, it's a 2022 sort of a thing. I launched digital products this year. So that's my 2021 is digital products. I did all one-on-one or group coaching before now, or like consulting things here and there. But it's been trading my time for money. And so 2021 was, I'm going to be a godmother. I want to take more time off, but still make the same amount. So how do I leverage what I already know? And so it was creating the digital products to be able to just promote, you know, couple of hours a week, and then make those sales to increase that income, so that I'm not, it's just like less time for the same amount of money, right?
Yeah.
Because you're just making sales through, right? So and then podcasting, I think, well, of course, every entrepreneur is almost like, hey, how can this make me money? But I feel like it would just be a passion project for me, because I just, and I could talk about it by myself. I could just sit here and talk. Like, I do like the interview style though as well. So I mean, I don't have much clarity around it yet. So as soon as I do, I'm sure I'll run with it.
So here's a way somebody put it to me. Back in 2015, I was on a podcast conference cruise. Um, and there's a guy named Chris Ducker who does a lot of entrepreneur stuff. He has a thing called Youpreneur. Awesome guy, British guy. But he said that podcasts aren't the business. Podcasts are the megaphone for your business.
I
So
love that.
yeah. So when I came out into creating the Matt P Marketing Podcast, I wanted to create a way for me to learn from people like yourself who are like, you have the keys to social media organic growth without ads. Like I want to
Mm-hmm.
learn from people like you. I also want to help other people learn from people
Mm-hmm.
like you and
Mm-hmm.
myself. And I want to be able to implement that stuff for my clients.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
for me, it
absolutely.
was a win-win-win. And like
Mhm.
people come to my website, I constantly have new stuff going up. Every week, there's at least this blog post, which is the podcast episode going up on top of some other stuff. Like it keeps my website updated, keeps my homepage because I have them listed on the homepage. It shows people that I'm consistent. I feel like it was just like the perfect mix of like, I'm not making any money from the podcast. I actually lose money from the podcast because I have to pay for hosting and all that kind of stuff.
True. Yeah.
But it's the megaphone for my business. So when I have potential marketing clients come to me, it's like, well, this guy has a marketing podcast. Like he clearly knows about marketing. If he's
Mm-hmm.
on your episode, I think 29 or 30, I just released 21 today.
Oh, so
Um,
amazing.
yeah. So like having that kind of content, the hours that I've spent now just in the 30 episodes, 29, 30 episodes I've recorded, the amount of hours I've spent talking to awesome people like yourself, it's been phenomenal. So, I mean, it could be a passion project, but it can also tie in. I'm the kind of person who thinks everybody, kind of like you with social media, like
Mhm.
where can you add it in? I'm like that with podcasting. Like I think
Right.
everybody should have a podcast because it
You're
is
like, you
fun.
don't have a podcast? Like, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
there's
totally. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. Totally.
there's actually a journal. John Lee Dumas from Entrepreneurs on Fire. I don't know if you've heard of him. He has a podcast launch journal. It's like
Ooh.
a journal to help you launch a podcast. And it has yeah, you put your milestones in and all that kind of stuff. I didn't use it because by the time I got it, I already had a podcast. So I didn't need to launch one.
Yeah.
But if you want to launch it, let me know. I'll send you, I have a copy of it that's literally still in the plastic wrapper, that kind of stuff. I give away books in my Facebook group, Facebook, it's mattpete.com/group. I give away books like that because like I'll buy an extra copy, and if I like it, I'll give it away to somebody in the group. But if you decide you want to start a podcast, let me know. I'll send it to you. So
you're just you're pulling my heartstrings here. Maybe it'll be a 2021 thing for me now. And you know what? I think it's like, well, it's like almost maybe the push that I needed, because it's like that I know that I would love to do it.
Yeah. And like you said, it's like finding out where it fits in your business, kind of like anything else. Where does it fit into your business? Like you said, entrepreneurs want to know what's the ROI on it. So if it's just passion project, like me, I love playing guitar, but it doesn't make me money. So I don't invest. Like I have one acoustic guitar now that I leave laying around because it doesn't make me money. So I'm not going to invest all my time and energy in learning how to play guitar better. So I get that. So think of it like that through that. Everybody out there listening, think of it through that lens. If you want to start a podcast, like don't think of how can I make money from the podcast, but what content can I put out that's going to grow my main business?
Yeah. Or how can I use it as an asset, even if there's no direct income flow? Like you can still create something as an asset.
Exactly. And I mean, Apple Podcasts, they're changing a lot lately. So they're introducing things like premium podcasts. So you can actually have your podcast set up as a premium thing. So people have to pay for it to get access.
Nice.
So there's that change. I hear that Facebook is about to launch a podcast tab on business pages. So you can host, kind of like you send it to Apple and you send it to Spotify and all these places, you can send it to Facebook, to your feed. So people can listen to your podcast natively in Facebook. So a lot of cool things are happening on podcasts right now. Yeah, now's the time.
Yeah, totally. And you know, like it's never too late. Like it's you as a specific human being are going to reach more people if you were to start now or in 10 years, just because of who you are, right? It's like there's certain people for marketing instances that are going to invest with me versus you, because like I'm super loud and like super obnoxious and like a big fan of the tough love. Like I'll give you, like I don't care about your feelings. So there's a lot of people that don't like that, and they won't invest with me because they're like probably going to get my feelings hurt.
But then there's people like me, like that's the only kind of person I invest in. Like when I want somebody to do work for me, because I don't want somebody who's going to just people please me and be like, oh yeah, that could work, let's do that. No, I want somebody like, I've been there, done that, it doesn't work. Don't waste your time.
That's a crash idea, but let's do it this way instead. Like you got to
exactly. I kind of like me when I go to the gym and stuff. Like I'm not like all like self-love on my body. Like I'm mean to myself when I work out. Yeah. All right, Gina. So we got to move on to the interview because this has been amazing so far, but we haven't even got to the first real question yet. Okay, and I might split this into 2 episodes because we already have so much amazing content. We haven't got to the questions yet. So maybe potentially part 2 right here starting. So Gina, what is something you see people doing in their marketing that makes you cringe?